look at color. Black and white children, Hispanic children, you know why they get along? Because they don't look at each other's color. So you're the racist, not them, not us. You're judging and dividing. You're causing segregation. Everything that we fought for, everything that I fought for years.
That's Tatiana Ibrahim before the school board in Carmel, New York. That video is going viral, slowly but surely. Big tech, not necessarily on our side. Tatiana joins us right now. Congratulations. That was so amazing. How are you tonight?
I'm well. Thank you, Greg. How are you?
Terrific. What has the reaction been like so far?
Gotten a lot of support. A lot of parents coming out, all different parts of the U.S. A lot of support from my community. Moms coming out of everywhere, children, dads. A lot of support.
You know, there was something about it. I found myself becoming almost emotional at the end, and I know a lot of other people feel the same way. Can you tell us a little bit, first, about your daughter? You referenced her. What grade is she in? And tell us a little bit about what she's been going through, please.
So my daughter is amazing. She is a sophomore at the high school. She's in 10th grade. And she's very, my daughter was being taught to be tolerant. She was taught to, at school to be tolerant. And at home, we were teaching her our what we believe in as a family and as a unity. And she was going to school and they were just telling her different things. Teachers were telling her that if she didn't agree with LGBT, it's bad. You're not good. Telling her friends it's homophobic if you don't agree. And, she was made fun of. When she was in the middle school, she was told she had shorts on and they told her she shouldn't be wearing it because she's too pasty white. How do you tell a child that? They didn't want her hanging out with different ethnicities. They were telling her, well, you're privileged, and she was confused, but I don't understand. My dad worked so hard and what's going on? My grandfather, retired police officer, worked so hard and she couldn't understand that, and it was very confusing. And we went through a lot, very emotional. It really shut her down for a while. And she wasn't the only one. Her friends were going through the same thing and they just so confused. Mom and dad or guardians teaching me one thing and going to school, it's all getting erased.
Well, it's happening nationally, as we know. An absurd conversation about race, I believe, to avoid having an important one. You came out, you meant business as soon as you got to that podium. These are the first, 30 seconds or so of your presentation before the board. I'd like to play that, please.
I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children. My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic.
It's pretty intense. And look, you told me about support from across the country. What about the board? Are they moving? Are they willing to work with you on this? Has anybody on the board come to you and said, you're right?
So no, Greg. So at the end of the meeting, I approached the superintendent and assistant superintendent, and I handed them the proof that I had in hand. And I was told, okay, we will contact you. We'll get a meeting going. It should be no later than a week or so. And nobody reached out to me. Nobody called me. Questions are still being unanswered. They're not communicating. We really thought that they were going to be receptive and try to work with us. Nothing, because we exposed them.
You did call them, by the way, we reached out to the board. We got through to them. We talked to people up there. They said they would try to get back to us. They did not. You mentioned that they're thieves. How so?
Where's our money? They're asking for $133 million and change. We have a COVID relief package that I believe was, 23 million and change. Monies from last year's budget. Where's our money? Children don't. In the Carmel School District, the high school, there's no central air conditioning. They want buses. We have enough buses. They did a sneaky, undercover, quiet, hush-hush job, renting property, $5,000 a month. Didn't tell the public, didn't ask the tax dollars. Yep. Even our town supervisor didn't know. And now the property has liens and they want us to fix it.
There are some books that have been assigned. One is One Crazy Summer and the other Ron's Big Mission. This certainly isn't Catcher in the Rye or To Kill a Mockingbird. These are books that you're familiar with. These are books that are, well, they're not very enlightened from our perspective when it comes to race. Tell me about these books and your frustrations, please.
They're racist. They're teaching our children on both sides, regardless of ethnicity or races or race, that if you're Black, it's okay to throw a tantrum and get what you want. Instead of telling the child, don't look at your color, succeed on your own. You have the capabilities to do it. Don't use race. They're teaching the children that the whites are hating a Black child and a Black child's hating the white because the child went to the library to get a library card and was denied one because only white children can take books out, or white folks can take books out, not Blacks. The book was written, it was published in 2018. It's a story that comes from the 1950s. The way they're explaining this book, children are actually thinking that this is occurring in today's age. This does not belong in our school system. It is causing
a link to a video saying you've got to watch this. And I did. And I am so glad I did. I've been waiting for somebody like this, for a moment like this. The video was of Tatiana Ibrahim. Now, she is the mother of a young girl who goes to public school in Putnam County, New York, north of New York City. Tatiana goes before her local school board and she strikes back. She strikes back at the insanity of critical race theory. She strikes back at the insanity that some schools are teaching hatred of police officers. She strikes back at the insanity of cancel culture. Now, ordinarily, we would take a video like this and splice it up into a couple of sound bites. I can't do that right now. You've got to watch it in its entirety. If I could show you Paul Revere's speech, I would not cut it up. So it's about 10 minutes long. I think it's worth every second. I think you're going to like it. I think you might be inspired by it. Tatiana Ibrahim before her local school board in Putnam County, New York.
Good evening. My name is Tatiana Ibrahim, and I'm here for the first time. I'm here tonight not only as a community member, but as a parent in this district. Recently, you sent out a survey wanting to know why parents were not voting yes for this budget. So my situation, my vote for no is a little different. I think the Board of Education and those sitting on the panels are thieves. I think they're liars and have committed treason against our children. My message to this district and the members of the Board of Ed: stop indoctrinating our children. Stop teaching our children to hate the police. Stop teaching our children that if they don't agree with the LGBT community, that they're homophobic. You have no idea each child's life. You don't know what their family lifestyle consists of. You don't know the makeup of their life. You have children like mine who is Muslim and I'm Christian, and everyone would think, they would never believe that of her, right? Because the way she looks, or according to Miss Cyrus, she's too pasty white.
We're not allowed to use names. If you have something you'd like to discuss about a specific person, you can call the superintendent or leave your info for her to call you tomorrow.
Why are we not allowed to discuss names? Why am I not allowed? when they purposely themselves expose themselves on social media, talking about calling for the death of a former president, or saying that any child that doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter should be canceled out. Is this what my tax dollars is paying for? You're teaching my children and other children that if they believe in God Almighty, they're part of a cult. These educators put their own names out there. We have Mr. Barry, who took it upon himself with Miss Cyrus to create a curriculum.
That should be it.
Do you want the proof? I have the proof. You created a curriculum of Black Panther indoctrination.
Ma'am,
You use taxpayers' dollars.
can I ask you one more time? I have no issue hearing what you have to say, but
Why can we not let the public speak? Why can't we let the public know that you're teaching our children to go out and murder our police officers?
That
Do
is
you
not-
want the proof? I have the proof. Is that what scares you, the proof? That a parent actually standing up against all of you? Is that what scares you, to call out the names of these people? You work for me. I don't work for you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison and kill a police officer. It's our fault? No, it's your fault. You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am. And as long as I'm standing here on this good ground earth of God, I will fight. And this is not the last of me you will see. I'm retired. I have nothing else better to do. We can do it peacefully, or we can take it to the highest courts, because you know and I know I'm not the only parent fighting this all across America right now. Schools are trying to poison our children's minds, teaching them about things that they have no right to be taught in school.
so
So
normally, I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just give you just a feedback for a moment. I have no problem having a peaceful discussion. This is not a peaceful discussion.
no, that's your opinion. See, here we go again. This is peaceful. To me, this is peaceful.
Well,
I'm not burning, looting, and murdering. This is peaceful.
I did not accuse you of that, but I don't have a problem having a conversation with you, a peaceful conversation, which is, this is not.
$6.95 per child in the middle school to buy a curriculum from readtome.org that wasn't even approved by the Board of Ed. The administrators took it upon themselves to buy these books with taxpayer dollars while COVID is going on. How many families are struggling to pay their mortgages? Listen, by all means, you want to teach kids these things, fine. Don't do it on my dollar. Don't infringe on my religious beliefs. Don't infringe. Do you know who makes up the majority of this district? Children from police officers' families. Blues. Back the blue children. Do you know what these children feel like when they come home? Have you spoken to them? No, you're silencing them. This whole cancel culture, you're silencing the children. Where are their rights? They have no rights. Because if they don't believe in the indoctrination, the demonic, twisted, sneaky, vile acts and education, if you call it that you're teaching our children, they don't agree with that. They're either homophobic, they're part of a cult, they're racist. What's racist? Who defines racist? Why? Do you know what race I am? Do you? You don't. You don't even have an idea. I could be black, I could be white, I could be Asian, you don't know. Who are you to determine that? Who is anyone to determine that? You know what? Children in the school system, children like other children, they don't look at color. Black and white children, Hispanic children, you know why they get along? Because they don't look at each other's color. So you're the racist, not them, not us. You're judging and dividing. You're causing segregation. Everything that we fought for, everything that I fought for years. So you have the right to stand here and tell me I'm not allowed to mention a name when the person, the Mr. Barry and Miss Cyrus themselves